Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what is up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Welcome back. Hope everyone is doing good. Wednesday already, halfway through the week. Let's keep pushing. I'm currently in a short trade in CAD CHF. I'll go over that in a little bit. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing good. Welcome back to the stream. Like always, if you haven't checked out the Telegram, feel free to go and check it out. Link in the description to that. Share my trades, updates, watch list for the week, videos I create. So feel free to go and check that out. And if you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link to IC Markets at the top of the chat there. So if you're looking for a broker, feel free to go and check them out using the link if you want to. But yeah, guys, welcome back to another stream. Forex, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. Sanjay, morning. Hope you're doing good. AUD USD, we'll take a look, no problemo. Sales, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. The Pello, what is up? Morning. Lillian, what is up? Analyze gold. Okay, we'll take a look. Henrique, morning. Welcome to the stream. USD CAD, we'll take a look. NZD Chef, currently short. Okay, we'll get to it. Sculpt TFX, good morning, Miko. That's Yoda. I like that title. I'll take that title. Yeah, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Jordan, welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is doing good. So yeah, we'll start and go through some pairs, and I'll go through my trade shortly as well. There's a few other pairs that are starting to shape up a little bit, which I'm eyeing up as well. But we'll start with AUSD. So yeah, there's not really much here for AU. As I said yesterday, higher time frames look pretty clear to me. And by higher, I mean predominantly the weekly time frame looks very, very clear for a comfortable downtrend. Still looking for a push to these lows, and eventually probably these lows here as well. But that's very, very long term. We don't really need to be thinking about that too much. If the trend really starts kicking off, then we can just start shorting as price continues down on the lower highs. And these could be some big pivotal targets we look at into the future. But for now, all we've kind of got is consolidation. So I'm not really looking to do too much with AUDUSD. We're back at the highest consolidation, so naturally it's a decent place to sell. Could see a move back down to the lows of the consolidation. In fact, if we are going to be bearish, this might be a big head and shoulder pattern, left head and possible kind of right shoulder there, which could start the continuation to the downside. But me, myself, and I will be waiting for price to start seeing some momentum and breaking through some structure, giving us a trending environment again, and then I'll be looking for the lower highs. Because again, if my bias in my analysis is correct and price is coming all the way down here, I don't necessarily need to try and get in at the highs or try and guess the market to maximize my risk to rewards. I just need to wait for the market to start trending again and getting on those low highs. And again, I could be wrong. The market might want to reverse and start pushing to the upside, for all I know. But I'm still leaning towards the downside in the higher time frames. As of right now, kind of rejecting key resistance up high. So with that said, I would expect to see a bearish leg back down again. Would I trade it? No. I will be waiting for some trending conditions to come back into the market though. So I'm a bear, but I'm not looking to sell this one yet. So if you're looking to get involved, 0.678 is not a bad place to start selling. Obviously, stop loss above the area. And yeah, we're starting to see some bearish momentum creep back in. Dollar's looking a tad bit strong. We'll see how that sustains. But yeah, for now, we probably could see another swing to the downside. And again, the midpoint of that range around 0.67 coming to this area could be a nice place to take some partials, halfway down. Because sometimes you could be in a situation where we've got a ranging market and the market starts heading down and then starts just forming some weird support and then bounces back up to your entry. So halfway, the midpoint of the consolidation, midpoint of a range is a decent place to secure some partials, maybe stop loss to break even, take some profit off the table, and then let's see if we can do the full length back down to the lows of the range. But yeah, AU for me is just is another ranging market. So not really too interested in that pair at the moment. We'll take a look at gold, USD CAD, and NZC Chef next. Brian, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Zalman, what is up? Good day, good day. Lance, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Carlos, what is up? Please check USDJPY. Okay, we'll have a look. See, no problemo. Nike, hello, bro. Could you go see? Good to see you here. Good to see you too. And take a look at pound AUD. I'm seeing we're breaking through the resistance for some possible longs. What's your thoughts on this? Okay, yeah, if pound AUD can keep that momentum up, I'll be interested in going long, and I'll go over it in a second. But yeah, we are seeing some bullish momentum, and if we can start breaking through some areas, then yeah, I do think there could be some nice longs for that next higher low. But I'll go through was it USD CAD? No, gold first, then USD CAD and NZC HF. So gold, yeah, gold's a bit of a weird place right now. We've kind of seen some corrective behavior back up again. This was a very, very strong aggressive move back down, and price has come back into some support here. It's kind of correctly trying to creep forward, but again, I'm not really interested in buying gold right now, particularly at those prices. So I want to see at least one more bearish leg to the downside for gold, and then I'll be interested to buy gold back up again. Back to around the 2K mark. If we can see another stab lower, I'll be looking for some long opportunities, because although gold is very exhausted and looking very, very corrective, there's still a nice area of confluence into this area of resistance here, along with that trend line there as well. So another stab lower, I do think we'll probably get a push up higher, and how far that push goes is another question, because again, it's quite exhausted. We're trading at some key weekly time frame resistance. I wouldn't be surprised if the market pushes up, forms a lower high, and starts rolling over, similar to kind of what Euro USD is doing right now. But yeah, gold for me around 2K looks like a decent place to buy it. Of course, waiting for that confirmation as well. If you can get a nice little 4H wick through that, that'll be very, very tasty indeed. But at these prices, I'm not looking to do too much. I'm not looking to sell the market. I understand it's probably not a bad place to sell, because obviously we have this impulse correction coming back to some areas here. There might be a sell to the downside, but again, I'm not really a bear in the market, so I'm not interested in selling gold just yet until we break some 4H structure. Yeah, aka this low here. If we start breaking through this area, that'll tell me, okay, all this momentum here is amounted to nothing. Gold snapping through some key lows, breaking through the trend line, breaking structure. We probably are going to take a bit of a dive to the downside. So at that point, I'll be comfortable with the sells, taking it to the downside. But at the moment, these sells here are a little bit counter trend, in my opinion. So I'll be waiting for the buys around 2K, and we'll see what happens with that. Because again, I don't think they'll probably go too far. Probably be a little bit aggressive with the trade management, back to that resistance, and call it a day probably. But we'll see. At the moment, gold's kind of middle of nowhere for me. No kind of real importance there, so just going to keep an eye on gold. But if you can get that stab lower, I will be interested to take some buys later on. But yeah, at the moment, nothing really much there for me. We'll take a look at NZC HF and USD CAD next. And we'll take a look at USDJPY as well. Morning watch, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Big news coming out today at 1:30 as well. Let me actually go take a look at the old economic calendar, because we actually had quite a lot of news this week. We've got Bank of England interest rates on Thursday. We've got some PPI, I think, on Thursday as well. Today is obviously Wednesday, so yeah, we got inflation 130 for dollar. Did not See that. So yeah, we do have some big news coming out later today, in about 3 hours time. So again, if you are in any trades, especially in any dollar trades, make sure you're managing your risk and aware of the situation. Again, if you're a technical trade like me and you're sitting in a trade already, then it's kind of difficult to, especially a swing trade anyway, it's kind of difficult to kind of navigate and dodge every news announcement. Sometimes you will just be sitting in news, but the one thing we can control is not entering, an hour or a few minutes before the news comes out, trying to guess which way it's going to go. Because again, not only does the spread widen, obviously you're very prone to getting wicked out unnecessarily. So trying to avoid getting in around news time is definitely a good thing to do. But sometimes you will have to sit through some trades in some news events, sometimes even big ones as well. But again, that's up to you. If you don't want to, you don't have to, obviously. But we do have some news today coming out for dollar, so it should be interesting. We'll go through some dollar pairs shortly as well. Then we go through USD CAD, which happens to be a dollar pair. So USD CAD seeing a slight bounce to the upside. Again, price action not really convincing with this bullish move here. We are coming to some key support. As you can see, the market, is still kind of giving us these higher lows here. We've had a bunch of higher lows coming up since mid 2021, and the market's still ever so slightly holding onto support. And recently spiked back into this daily area. Nice reaction. But again, you can see the way the market came into this area, heavily shorted. A lot of impulsive behavior to the downside, a lot of bearish momentum. However, we've had a nice reaction off the level, but since then the market's been quite corrective. So I'm expecting this to probably continue, maybe a little bit higher, and then a lower high to form somewhere, and some shorts back into where we came from, back into that same area. Because this is a heavy impulsive move. We've had one there, correction, two there, and I'm expecting another correction, another push back down. Obviously, this would be a nice place to short. Oh, that's a horrible line. Let me just use the line tool. That would be a nice place to short on the retest of that structure, but will we move up there? I'm not too sure we will. Of course, never say never. The market's always a very surprising place. Things that you don't expect to happen do happen, and things that you do expect to happen sometimes don't happen. If you do get a retest of that structure, that would be a nice place to short, but I highly doubt we get all the way up there. I've got a feeling price is probably going to form a lower high somewhere around here. If I whip out the old Fibonacci, you might get 50% retracement. So 50% comes into this kind of area here, which is actually a place I wanted to buy from a couple of weeks back. So maybe this area here potentially could see the correction continue, push up, and then maybe a sell-off. We may not even get to the 50 as well. But USD CAD sales do look good, but I'd wait for a little bit more development with this pullback first before looking to get short. Again, that's not a bad place to do it, but the best place would be that structure. Just I highly doubt we get up there. So USD CAD, I'm looking at a little bit more upside, and then another push back down to the support level around 1.33200. Which should be interesting because overall DXY is still pretty bearish despite what it's doing. DXY is starting to consolidate right now, so we are some key support as well. So it does make sense that we are starting to consolidate a little bit. But if DXY does start snapping through 102.200, that could be a sign of not necessarily a reversal, but a big pullback. Because if you look at the larger structure, we've been forming these major lower highs. 1, 2. If you do start breaking out the consolidation, might see a short-term uptrend, another major lower high form. You're kind of getting 1, 2, and 3. The price is kind of going to be squeezing between that kind of trend line and that support area. So if you do start snapping through the highs there, you'll probably get a nice short-term uptrend, maybe for a week or two, and then we could see the sales start kicking in, maybe on the retest of some structure here. Some nice support there could come up into this area, lower high, and then probably roll back over. So that could be very interesting because Euro USD looks like it could be spilling over as well. But we'll get onto that pair shortly. So USD CAD, I do expect to see some upside, but I don't think it'll last too long. Probably roll over pretty soonish. NZD CHF said you're short. So this one I was looking to get short as well at the start of the week. But unfortunately, the market is not quite holding my area. It's still breaking above my trend line. So even though trend line for me is an important level of confidence, but I don't use it necessarily to signify direction. Obviously, I use market structure for that, and where I buy and sell from is support resistance. But trend lines do give us, extra confluence, just like Fibonacci, moving averages, and all other types of indicators. But the fact that we are kind of trading above the trend line is a little bit of a red flag to short, in my opinion. We could potentially get back underneath it, and that's what I said yesterday. If we get back underneath it, then I'll start, consider looking to short again. But the fact that we were kind of trading above it and throwing some wicks to the downside into the trend line is not something that I want to short. So I'm kind of backing away from NZD-CHF at the moment. Maybe the market wants to push up a little bit higher, throw some wicks, back to the highs around here, and then, see some nice downside. But unless that happens, I'll be backing away from the shorts from NZD-CHF. We might just push up a little bit higher. There's a solid level up here as well. If I zoom out and look at the higher time frames, you can see the market is still very, very bearish. Successive lower highs, back to back. We had the equal highs up there, the double top. Market broke structure, lower high, lower high, lower high. So I'm expecting another lower high to be forming in and around this area. If I whip out the old Fibonacci from the high to the low, you can see we are creeping into the 50. We've got the 0.618 not too far away as well. So I do think, generally speaking, a lower high can form in around here. But, after reading the price action down the 4H, for me, it's just a little bit too early to short unless we start snapping back underneath. Why is that not deleting? There we go. Unless we start snapping back underneath that trend line, then I'll start considering, but at the moment we're not. So, yeah, that's kind of my outlook on NZD-CHF. I'm short biased, but I'm not seeing a good short opportunity just yet. But that could change very, very quickly. So we will see. USD JPY, I'll get to that one next. Then we'll go over pound AUD as well. Euro CAD, Seseclo, no problem. Still stagnant. Was looking for some CAD weakness to go bullish again and continue uptrend. Yeah, I'm not sure Euro CAD. Well, from an objective point of view, Euro CAD still technically bullish on the higher time frames, but I do see a major lower high starting to form sooner or later for EuroCAD, which may already be in play for a big reversal, and I'll go over the reasons why shortly. But the EuroCAD's quite overextended to the downside, so it might probably see a pop to the upside. But I'm getting ready for the sells, which may take a few days to actually materialize. But I'm not too interested in the buys anymore. NAS 100, Thomas will get to it, no problem. Pound USD, yeah, we'll go through some dollar pairs as well. I agree with gold on the technical side of things, but with CPI, I think we could push higher. Yeah, I still do see more strength for gold, like I said. On Oanda broker, which is the market that you're using to analyze gold, it hasn't pierced through the highs, whereas some others brokers it has. So I still think Oanda is going to see some new all-time highs. For gold, I still think gold can push a lot higher, but gold's just very, very corrective with that behavior. So from a technical standpoint, it's still bullish, but this price action is not a sign of a healthy trend. So although we might see another stab higher, I'm not too sure what will happen. CPI, maybe that could, it would be nice if we could push price down and then we can buy it back up. Maybe CPI pushes price up, and then it's going to be important to see how we unfold at these prices. Do we break through and sustain above it, or do we just have another big wick rejection and come back down again? So it will be interesting to see what happens with gold. All I know is that we've got a CPI in a few hours. I'm not prepared to do anything at these prices. This is the only place I'm interested in for gold. So if you can get pushed lower, I'm interested. If the market starts flying to the upside, I'll just let it do what it needs to do, but I won't be interested. Anyway, so yeah, USJPY kind of corrected price action, but looks like it's starting to break through the resistance here. Very, very choppy, but it's trying to do its best. I'm not completely sold on the breakout just yet. We're still getting a lot of wicks here to the upside, and the market's only closing above the region by a few pips there as well. So it's not the most convincing candle closure or the most convincing breakout either. So I'm not completely sold. It may actually be a breakout. The market may push higher. But again, we've got to look at the market objectively in terms of probability, not in terms of whether we think market will do something or not. Is this a high probability breakout? No, it isn't. Can it break out? Of course it can. But I wouldn't want to be following that structure just yet. The market can push a little bit high, show me some big body candles coming through, then sure, pullbacks and continuations look pretty good at that point. And I'll be more than happy to get on some longs because I'm still looking for a push back to the high of last week, 137,500, which lines up with the prior high there on the left. That's still where I see price going. We have still, giving us these consecutive high lows, 1, 2, 3, 4. Potentially 5 there as well. So the market is still respecting all of these higher lows, but based off this impulse behavior and the fact that we're kind of respecting that resistance, doesn't fill me with too much confidence to look for buys just yet. So I kind of want a little bit more development, some more bullish momentum coming back into play, and then I'll be keen to take some longs there for USD/JPY, and probably targets back to 137.5. But right now, very, very corrective, only just breaking above the high and not convincingly either. So with USD/JPY, I'm just going to keep an eye on it, but I'm not interested to do anything with this price action. That head and shoulder play is sort of still on. I wouldn't be surprised if you get a big, strong bearish candle coming back below and things looking bearish quite quickly. So I need a bit more momentum there to the upside for USD/JPY, and then I'll look to buy and look for an opportunity to buy at least. So we'll be waiting for some opportunities there for USD/JPY, but I'm not seeing much at the moment. Let me know what you're looking at for the pair. EuroCAD will take, Pound AUD, then EuroCAD will take a look. NAS 100, Pound USD as well. Hi Daniel, what is up? Hope you're doing great today. I'm doing perfectly fine. Hope you are as well. Any chance we can get a look at natural gas and US 500? Of course. We'll go through, when I go through NAS 100, I'll go through US 500 there as well. And then I'll take a look at natural gas after I do some other pairs for some people. Free boy, Euro JPY will take a look too. I'm still looking to long the pair. Euro pound starting to look decent, Matt. Euro pound starting to look decent because we're seeing some bearish momentum breaking through some structure. So it could be some nice shorts on some pullbacks, but Euro pound's a choppy pair. You need to see a good healthy pullback, then I'll be interested. But we'll go into detail on it and shortly. Let me just go through Pound AUD and Euro CAD. So Pound AUD, I wasn't keen to long this one yesterday, even though we started snapping back above the trend line, mainly because we're still kind of into this daily level of resistance. As you can see, we had a lovely reaction of the support level last week, nice push to the upside, and then on Monday, we closed below that area. On Tuesday, we respected it as well. So I'm not keen to buy Pound AUD into this area. However, if it starts breaking above, then there is some mileage to the upside because, again, the trend is still comfortably to the upside. If I whip out the old trend line, you can see the market's still creating all these higher lows. We got 1, 2, 3 there for that kind of triple bottom. 4, this kind of double bottom, even though it broke a little bit to the downside. But if it does start to redeem itself and break back above, this is now going to be daily support for us instead of daily resistance. And I would expect to see a pop to the upside, at least back to the resistance here. Probably grab ourselves a nice 1 to 2, 1 to 3 into that 1.89 area. So the way I see Pound AUD unfolding is still bullish. Despite the strong bearish momentum we've here to the downside, it hasn't broken any significant structure. So I'm not reading too much into it until it starts to break some significant structure. Thank you so much, Guild Arts, for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Until we start breaking through some major structure, then I'll start, looking to change the bias. But at the moment in time, this could just be a big bull flag kind of retracement, big impulse to the upside, correction 1, correction 2, and then looking for a push up higher. And if I go to the daily, let me move this out of the way. If we go to the daily, still seeing a lot of bullish momentum. Weekly, still seeing a lot of bullish momentum. We've got some resistance up here as well, which the market could be looking to overall go and test that 1.91. So there's still some room to the upside left for Pound AUD too. So buys do look good for this one, but that daily resistance is a big red flag. So break above that, we've got some nice opportunities to take this one to the upside, at least back into 1.89, I reckon. So I do agree with you there, Nike. Pound AUD is looking pretty good. I'll take a look at EuroCAD next. So EuroCAD, you said you're looking for some longs, and rightly so. The market is still kind of technically bullish. But with this humongous down move there, and the wicks we're getting on the weekly, and the body closures we're getting, the candle closures we're getting on the weekly, I'm looking at a lower high developing around this point here. It might not be specifically there. We might have one more push up higher, and then the market starts dumping. But generally speaking, with this major high over there on the left, the lower high, the humongous lower low down here, I'm looking at this move here to the upside being retracement of this bearish leg. So if I whip out the old fib from the high to the low, as you can see, we just found ourselves into this 0.618 area and starting to see some heavy rejection around here. So I do think there is a big possibility for a major lower high to form at this area. Really good confluence as well, and starting to see some really, really good rejection on the weekly time frame with these candlesticks. So I do think a major lower high could be looking to form here and start rolling over. Again, this is a long-term prediction, long-term projection. But with the 4H time frame starting, let me just delete all this out of the way. We know it's there. We don't need it anymore. With the 4H time frame starting to give us these aggressive double top patterns, I wouldn't be surprised if we start forming some lower highs and start doing this rolling over. So these short opportunities look very, very good. Obviously, they do need to form first, but yeah, those shorts look pretty good. So I'm not really interested in buys anymore. For EuroCAD, we're starting to break through some significant trend lines as well, so I'm putting a pause to the buy bias. I mean, this would have been a nice place to see a pop to the upside, but we didn't really get much confirmation there. As you can see, some healthy confluence, but the market just broke straight through. So with EuroCAD, yes, the market structure is still intact. This is still kind of a higher low, which gave us the drive to the upside, but I'm no longer looking for buys anymore. For EuroCAD, I'm looking for some lower highs to start developing, and eventually a big topple over to the downside. So yeah, hopefully I can see those lower highs develop. Again, they may take a few days to develop, so I'm not really it's not really at the top of the watch list right now, EuroCAD. But I will be monitoring it at the end of the day to see how things are developing. This one, I still need a big retracement before I even start considering looking for some sells. But yeah, from the higher time frames, I do think some shorts will be looking pretty good in a matter of days. But in the meantime, there might be some push up. Again, I'm expecting retracement, so that buy opportunity might be something you're looking to take advantage of. Not really something I'm looking at, but the sells look pretty good if they can develop how I'd imagine them to. So yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on Euro Canadian. We'll take a look at NAS and S&P as well. Then we'll get £2 USD natural gas as well. Euro yen, euro pound. I'll go for my trade. Anthony on CAD Swiss. I'm currently short on that one. Go watch Market Champ. His analysis is at just next level. It's probably not good as my analysis. Let's be honest here. Don't even know who he is, but okay, we'll take a look. As USD, no problem. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like. It really does help out. Stream will end if you don't hit the like button, guys. Yeah, it will end. Make sure you hit the like button, and I appreciate everyone who has hit it so far. Euro AUD, okay, a bunch of pairs to take a look at. Anus, Getty, is that a different Anus? I think it is. You have mentorship courses and your view on prop firms ever tried? Well, I'm actually working on my own mentorship / course, more of a course, not really a mentorship, at the moment. So yeah, that should be finalized with maybe a month or two. But yeah, I'm currently working on that, but I don't have any of that sort at the moment. And yeah, view on prop firms is it's another tool that we can use to grow your capital. If you don't have any personal capital to trade with or don't have any access to it, then obviously prop firms is probably your best choice to do that. Obviously, a lot of people use prop firms way too early in their journey, so this is why prop firms are very, very profitable, because they're just taking advantage of people who want to get capital. They can see it's so accessible. Pay this amount of money to obtain $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 to trade with. That's so tempting, especially as a new trader. You know, you've gone from starting a Forex journey 3 months in, you've seen someone offer 100k to you to trade, you know, you got 50-50 trot, you probably want to take it. So, prop firms are very profitable because obviously they take advantage of people just trading way too early in their journey. But if you've done the right work and you're seeing some good results, and you can find a prop firm that is obviously fits to the results that you've been putting out. Say if you're averaging 5% a month, you know, why would you go do a prop firm that requires 10%? Obviously, you're gonna have to change something, or you're not gonna pass the challenge. But there's some prop firms out there that can that are different, you know, in terms of their results that they require. Some have kind of open time limit. I'm not too sure. I haven't really researched into it. But once I kind of get some stuff out of the way with my course, my mentorship, I'll probably be looking to dive deep into some prop firms and pick some ones that I want to try myself. Because I mean, it's a decent tool, but I'll obviously have to do my research into it and decide which one I want to go with. Because some generic ones like FTMO I've looked at briefly, but I wouldn't be looking to go with that for me personally. Not because there's something wrong with them, but for my trading style, I'll be looking to go with different firms, which I don't know yet. So I need to do my research into it. But if you seen some good results, I don't see a reason why you shouldn't do it. Anyway, we'll go through NAS and S&P. Then we'll take a look at pound USD. So NAS is starting to respect the highs here. So I was looking for some buys for this one this week. Still am, but we are kind of still respecting the resistance here. So I did say yesterday that although we're seeing some really good impulsive behavior to the upside, the market's failing to break through the highs here. The market's failing to break through the highs, which is a very important aspect to the price action here. We want price to actually be breaking through the highs, seeing higher highs. So the fact that we are respecting this area is a bit of a red flag. The market could obviously just be in a bit of a correction right now, looking to push through. Maybe the news, maybe the inflation is going to push price to the upside potentially. We'll have to wait and see. But I need price to start breaking through this resistance here first, and the buys above that look very good. Because in the weekly time frame, I'm looking for price to push back into the resistance here on the left, which is 13,562. And I'm looking for price to go and test that area. We've got lovely resistance here, rejecting that support finally. So I'm expecting a push to 13,600, but I'm expecting price to first break through that 4H zone there. If it doesn't, then we might actually just roll back over and see this sideways ranging behavior continue, and price start doing something like this, which is not really what we want to be seeing. We want price to start breaking through the highs, retesting, and then looking for the continuation there. So if we can start seeing this type of price action, pull back into this area, looks fantastic. Then looking for the buys to the upside there on 13,280, back to 13,600, 13,560, that kind of weekly area. So that's what I'm looking for US 100. It's going to take its time to develop. It might not even play out in terms of breaking through that resistance. It could just roll over. If that's the case, I'll just ignore NAS 100 and let it be, because at that point we're just in that range, and I'm not really looking to try and maneuver through ranging markets. But a break above that looks very interesting for some longs, and you've got a multitude of time frames in that direction as well. Okay, so we'll go take a look at S&P, and then we'll go through pound USD next as well. Okay, so US 500, this one is interesting price action. Still respecting the highs, but not really seeing too much development from that. Overall, just looks like price is just failing to break through the high there, and we could potentially be looking to topple over. The market is starting to clear out the lows as well. As you can see, we have been making lower lows here. So if I whip out the low of this point, you can see we've broken through that. And I will whip out the low at this point here. You can see we just about wicked through. Didn't break through, but we wicked through. So the market is pushing lower each time. So even though that the market's kind of moving sideways, I do expect to see maybe another drive higher, and then a push to the downside, probably looking to take out these lows as well. Because the fact that we are respecting the highs there on the higher time frames show us that the market is likely to topple over, and the fact that the 4H is starting to pierce through the lows each time as well. And then we had a crazy bullish move over here, but it didn't really amount to much. The market came all the way up to take out the high, just to come back down and retest the support level. So it does tell me that S&P is likely to roll over and likely to see some new lows past this point here at 40, 40, 50, 40, 40. But yeah, in terms of actually shorting the market now, it's probably not the best time to do that. Maybe in the lower time frames, there's some structure here you can play with, retesting some prior lows here, maybe in the 15-minute. But if you're looking for something on the hourly or the 4H time frame, you would want to see price at least come back to respect the resistance here again, and then look for your shorts like that on that double top, or we might kind of wick through a little bit. But nonetheless, the shorts in this area look pretty good. Then you've got a solid level of support to aim for here as well, around 40.50, 40.60 into that area. So yeah, the way I see S&P playing out is a lot more downside for this one. Current price action is looking good, but a little bit corrective. You have this kind of big strong move to the upside, very, very corrective price action there. So would imagine we'll probably have another push to the upside left in us. If we start fading at the highs here at that resistance, see some good wicks, some good rejection, maybe a nice bearish engulfing, that could be a nice entry signal. Maybe on the hourly time frame, maximize your risk to rewards and targets, logically back down to the prior low there. We probably could break through and go further as well, because if you are going to reject this higher time frame level, then there's a lot of room to the downside, back down to some of these areas here. But no need to try and go for the home run. That is definitely a logical support level to push your trade to, take your profit, and move on to the next trade. So that's what I'm looking at for S&P. It's funny because NAS 100 I have a bullish bias on, but US 30 and US 500 look bearish to me. So a little bit of contradiction between the three. But again, I'm a price action trader. I'm going to follow the technicals on the specific pair I'm trading. If they play out, happy days. If they don't, you move on to the next opportunity. I'm not trying to go for perfection here. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for S&P. I'll go take a look at pound USD. Then we'll go through natural gas, euro yen, and CAD Swiss as well. Euro AUD we'll take a look at, USD ZAR. Pound AUD looks like a buy. Yeah, pound AUD can break above the high, then yeah, I'll expect it. I'll be looking for buys, but it's so far still in that daily resistance. I'm not interested in it just yet. But if you can break through the area, then I'll start considering it. But let me go through these pairs before I forget them. So pound USD, euro yen, euro pound, and natural gas too. Okay, so pound USD, this one's still kind of quite bullish. It's running out of steam 100%. Have we come into the resistance? Yes, we have. So we come into this area. So now's a good place to see some downside for pound. The market is still very, very bullish, so I would not be looking to short pound USD at all, despite the fact that it's at good resistance, and despite the fact that I've expect to see some downside. I would not be looking to short. It's not part of my trading style, not part of my trading plan. It's just kind of me thinking out loud sort of thing. So pound USD is at a decent level here. Likely to see some downside, but I need some break of structure first. I need to see the market actually shifting bearish right now. As we can see, successive high low after high low, as we can all see here, and potentially could be another one there for another drive higher. So I'm definitely not looking to go against this structure or go against this momentum until I start seeing the market start printing some lower lows and some lower highs. Then yeah, some shorts will look fantastic from this area. And we've got a nice little target to aim for as well, which is this major daily resistance there. We could be seeing, will be support now, which was resistance there, will be support now. This could be a nice little target to aim for, respect that high there, come back into that daily support. That could be a nice target we could aim for. But yeah, at the moment, pound USD is just very, very corrective. I'm not looking to buy the pair up at these prices. Number one, we're at resistance, and number two, the market is very, very fatigued and showing a lot of signs of exhaustion. So it's likely to see a lot more downside. Maybe the news could give us that, or maybe it's going to be the Bank of England interest rate tomorrow midday, which will be at the end of the stream tomorrow. So I'll probably catch some of it. Yeah, pound USD is at a solid level of resistance, and I would expect to see some downside, but I need a lot more development before I start looking to short. Like I said, some lower lows and some lower highs, and then I'll start probably looking for some counter trend plays. But at the moment, still a buyer's market. Just it's not a good place to buy. So all in all, pound USD is at a solid place, but I need to wait for some development for some shorts. And if you are going to buy it, wait for price to break structure to the upside and see some new life coming back into the market. And what I mean by that is some strong bullish momentum like we had over here, over there as well, and over there. If you can start seeing that repeating itself back again, then the buys look good later. But at the moment, still very corrective behavior. So not much to do with pound USD in my opinion. Natural gas, we'll take a look. Haven't looked at this one in a long time. Natural gas did see a humongous rejection not too long ago on the underside of this support time resistance, and now it's started to struggle between the low and that same level here. If I go in the higher time frames, just see what the bigger picture's like. Obviously we had a crazy capitulation back down there on the weekly. We've got some key lows down here. We could be slowly working our way towards weekly, respecting that pretty aggressively strong bearish engulfing candle. Daily time frame, again, nice rejection there. The market is respecting the support level if you include it from the wick there as well. It's kind of worked its way up. Yeah, overall this is just a ranging market. There's a bearish trend to it, but I wouldn't be looking to short at these prices. It's just kind of in the middle of a range, so I'm not really seeing much for natural gas right now. As you can see, we kind of got like the mid-level running through this area here as well. As you can see, the high, the low of the range, and this is where the market seems to be respecting in between the support and resistance. Normally in a range, we've got the extremes, the high and the low. Then most of the time we do have like a mid level as well, where the market starts to find support around halfway. So it's kind of trading at that area right now at 2.215. So this is a big no-no to be trading in this area. So natural gas may look decent for some shorts because we still have that higher time frame bearish momentum. So another push back into the resistance could look good for a sell. I understand price is coming back to respect some areas here, but I wouldn't sell it personally just because we're in that middle of the ranging market, which for me is just never a good place to look to get involved. You want to be involved high or down low. Getting involved in the middle of the range, it just leaves yourself quite exposed, especially if your stop loss above a high, very, very easily wicked out on some unnecessary move. So yeah, the way I see natural gas is that we got consolidation here. There's a key level lower, which you could still be working our way towards. If we can start breaking through this support here at 2.000, there could be some really nice sells on the way down on the follow through. But right now, I'll look for another drive higher back to 2.35, back into that resistance where we've got this really big wick. And there could be some nice sells coming back down again. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of selling in those areas. Just very, very risky. And yeah, just very, very risky in trading in the middle of the range. Excuse me, want price to be up high or down low. And again, that's not to say that the trade won't play out. Retesting that structure, it's a nice impulse correction. Could see another impulse, so it might still play out. But again, trading is all about probability and making sure you're taking your trades. Excuse me, throat's a little bit dry. Excuse me. So yeah, trading is all about making sure that you trade the right trades and making sure probabilities in your favor the best you can get it. So when you're taking trades that sort of don't feel right, it's best just not take them. And when you get when you take a trade and you're very, very confident about it, not because you just think it will play out, but just because it meets your plan and your criteria so well, and it's just it just kind of fits it so well, so naturally you feel good about the trade. It could still fail, but it just feels right to take it because it fits your plan so well. And you want to be taking as much as possible of those trades. And the trades where it kind of fits your plan, and you're not too sure about it, but it sort of fits your plan. Those type of trades, the little gray area type of trades, you want to make sure those are at a bare minimum as possible. Okay, so pound USD, natural gas. We'll go on to Euro JPY, Euro pound, and we'll go over my trade in CAD Swiss as well. Euro UD will take a look too. No problem, happy to help. We'll go for Euro JPY, Euro USD, we'll take a look. That one's starting to break lower. In a US 30 sell, expecting to fall to 32665 before probably going bullish again. If it respect the trendline support zone around there, then my take profit is way above that. Okay, we'll go take a look at US 30. Already gone through a few indices, but we'll take a look over US 32. Let me just go through Euro Yen and Euro Pound. So yeah, Euro Yen on the watch list for some long opportunities. Not really liking where price action is right now. I'm still looking for a push right back down to this support level here at 147.5. This is not the tool I wanted to use. Yeah, this is the level that I was looking at the start of the week, which I was talking about yesterday as well on the stream. Yeah, this is a solid level for us to look to buy from and anticipate more upside. You've also got the break and retest on the daily time frame too. As you can see, big old level there in the daily on the left. Price is breaking through. This is now support. If we can hold this, there's a good possibility for a move right back into the resistance up there. So as long as the daily time frame doesn't close back below this area, I'm still looking for the buys, and area of interest remains at 147.5, 147.4. So that's what I'm looking at for Euro JPY. Do you say you're looking at the lower time frame for Euro Yen or something? I'm not too sure if you said that or someone else said that for a different pair. But yeah, Euro Yen, that's my area of interest. I'm not really looking to do anything at these prices here. Potentially might go bullish. It might see some more downside. All I can do is wait to see if it comes to my area of interest. And if it does, if it gives me my signal, the entry confirmation I'm looking for, then I'll look to go long and take the trade. But overall, Euro Yen pretty bullish. Looking for some more upside for this one. Euro Pound, I'll go take a look at next. Then we'll go through CAD CHF. I'm currently short on that one. USD ZAR, we'll take a look at 2 Euro AUD as well. But yeah, just so Euro Yen, looking for the longs at support level, but currently nothing there at the moment. Euro Pound, like I said, this one's starting to look good again. This one's starting to look good. It's starting to break through the lows with some really good momentum as well. Some confident daily candle closures below the support level. So this is what I've been crying out for Euro Pound. If you've been watching my weekly analysis over the past few weeks, you know, I've been basically dissing Euro Pound, saying the price action is rubbish. I was seeing a lot of choppy price action. It's best to kind of stay away from the pair. And yeah, for a couple, 2-3 weeks, I've been staying away from the pair. And now I'm looking to see if we can actually get some corrections in and some more downside. We've got a lovely level of consolidation underneath us around here, which is a likely place the market could be looking to travel to. We've broken through a really nice level of support there as well. You know, can we get a correction and then the continuation back to the low? This is what I'm looking for Euro Pound, and then the continuation there. Because now we can trade a decent range. You can see we broke out of this consolidation with a lot of momentum. Most likely we'll probably come back to this area anyway. So if you can get a correction, yeah, that would be lovely. And looking for the continuation back to the low. So yeah, Euro Pound for me, this is now, you know, clean and price action we can trade. Even the retest of this low would be very nice. I'm not too sure if we'll get there. We may just see a retest of this support level. We may not even see that happen, but if it does, these are where I'll be interested to take them short. So you can see the structure. You have that lovely high over there. We've got the break of structure here. Break of structure, lower high, another impulse to the downside. So now subsequently looking for another pullback. Then the continuation lower. Whether it comes at this support, at this resistance, or this resistance, not too bothered. Risk to reward fairly similar. Just looking for some good entries and some good rejections to get into the trade. So yeah, Euro Pound looking pretty good. I'm liking the structure now. Starting to break through some key lows. Seen some good momentum, some good daily candle closures as well to the downside. So now it's time for some pullbacks, and well, hopefully it's time for some pullbacks. We don't necessarily have to pull back. We could just continue dumping into the daily consolidation underneath us. But if we can pull back, that would be fantastic. And then I'm looking for some sells around 0.873 and 0.876, and then yeah, looking for the next lower high there. Fairly straightforward price action, nothing too crazy there. But yeah, it's looking good, Euro Pound, looking good. Let me know if you're looking at something similar as well. CAD Swiss we'll take a look at now, then we'll go over USD ZAR and Euro AUD. No problem, happy to help. Euro Swiss we'll take a look at as well. Pound CAD. Did I forget Pound CAD? I think like I forgot Pound CAD lunch. We'll take a look at Pound CAD as well. I'll do it after CAD Swiss. We'll get it out of the way. We'll go for Euro USD, USD 30 is US 30 as well. Oil, no problem. John will take a look. Super Goki, we're about to go through CAD Swiss now as well. And then we'll take a look at Pound CAD and go through USD ZAR, Euro Swiss, Euro AUD, bunch of pairs to go through. So yeah, CAD Swiss currently short on this one. Entered this one yesterday at 4 p.m. I believe. Yes, it was 4 p.m. So after this candle closed, entered on the tray. Lovely bearish engulfing candle. This is what I was looking for in terms of price action on NZDCHF as well. Looking to see a confident candle closure coming back down again. Obviously, we're rejecting this daily zone here. Lovely support there on the daily, as you can see. Now looking at resistance, you can see we're getting some lovely wicks there on the daily time frame as well, to the upside into that area. So not only from a daily perspective, but from a 4H as well. Actually, said that the wrong way. Not only from a 4H perspective, but from a daily perspective as well. The market is respecting that zone. You've got a lovely trend line coming in from the highs. There's 2, 1, 2, and 3. And as you can see, we're seeing some lovely bearish momentum in these impulsive leg as well. So these are the type of price action, the type of momentum I'm looking to follow, looking to short from. The only red flag about this trade for CAD Swiss is that we're actually near enough the all-time lows, or we are actually at the all-time lows. So that's kind of the only red flag about the setup, is that we're very, very low down. But besides from that, in terms of the structure, in terms of the multi-time frame analysis, we've got a humongous trend in our favor as well. Pretty much all time frames are bearish. At least all high time frames are bearish as well. So yeah, from a high time frame down, look at the momentum, the structure, everything is looking pretty good for this position. And I'm liking the development for the entry as well. So looking at some downside for this one, risk reward about a 3.3. First target is into this brief area of resistance on the hourly time frame. Because structure is not too particularly clear. We had a big impulse up, a slight pause, and a big impulse back down. I don't want to be pushing my trade all the way down to this level here as my first TP. This is a nice comfortable TP around the 1 to 2, 1 to 1.3, 1 to 1.2. Take some profit off the table. We've got kind of a support level here, which the market is flirting with right now. So if that can break, likely to get a push into that area. Take some profit off the table, go break even. Then the next TP and the final TP for the trade is this brief consolidation here, where we saw all this momentum come through. The reason why I'm not looking to hold the trade all the way down to the lows here is because, like I said, we're at very, very low prices. These are all-time lows. I'm not necessarily deleted the wrong thing. I'm not necessarily looking to hold the trade that far down, because with this big impulse here, the trade might turn out to be a correction, and get ready for a push to the upside if we are going to see a bigger reversal. So with CAD Swiss, looking at a down move, but we have some very low prices, so I don't want to be holding on the trade for too long and overstay my welcome. But we've got some really nice areas, some brief periods of consolidation where the market breaks out with a lot of momentum. So we got a fairly good chance of a retest of those areas. Maybe we might test this area and go bullish. Doesn't really matter. We should some profit, go on break even. We would take the small win if we need to. And if price wants to go down to this area, fantastic. We'll take the full win. And obviously, if the market size wants to break up, we'll take the loss as well. But CAD CHF, lovely area of interest. It's one of the pairs I had on my washes coming into the week. Pretty much the same setup, which is formed now. Where is it? So yeah, this one misspelt there nicely, but coming into the area, nice rejection, looking for us to roll over. So not looking to push it all the way down there. Maybe I might leave some to trickle, 10% to run if things look good, but I'm not trying to be too overly confident with the trade, and just a 1 to 3, which is this risk reward, is fine enough for me. So yeah, currently short on the trade, and we'll see how this one plans out. We'll take a look at pound CAD next. So yeah, pound CAD, we did see a slight bounce from that daily resistance, which is now support. So yeah, we have seen a slight bounce from this area. So yeah, pound CAD, I wanted to see a wick to the downside. We had a pretty aggressive wick there to the upside. Looks like the market kind of filled the wick a little bit. But a nice entry would have been if the 4H could have wicked through the level and pulled back up again. That would have been a very, very nice entry on the area. Stop loss like so, and take advantage of the trade like that. Because for pound CAD, I'm still pretty bullish on the pair. You know, breaking it above a very substantial level, still printing these major high lows on the daily time frame. I'm still looking at more upside for pound CAD here, but yeah, the entry wasn't really what I'm looking for, and right now the market's still kind of consolidating, so we still could get the same entry signal I'm looking for. Could get one more down move, wick through the level, and then get the buy there. That'll be fantastic. Stop loss below the wick, and looking for the continuation to the upside. You know, could push it back to the highs if you want to as well. So the buys are still looking very nice, very very, very good opportunity for pound CAD, taking out some weaker lows there as well, coming into a key support level. I just want to see a good entry signal. You know, there's times where price comes into levels and it's kind of respecting it, and the entry signals kind of those type of opportunities I kind of just let slide, and I just want to take the best opportunities where the entry candle is very obvious and it's very in your face sort of thing. Those are normally the best trades that play out for me. Ones where I'm kind of umming and ahhing, never, or at least most of the time, don't play out so well. So yeah, waiting for some longs here for pound CAD, but yeah, hopefully get one more down move into that same level, or we might even come a little bit deeper. I'm also looking at this area here as well. This is one of the areas I was talking about on my weekly analysis. Have some really good confluence from the low to the high there, as you can see, coming to this area, and I believe it comes into the 0.618 as well of the old Fibonacci. Yeah, sort of into the 0.618 there too. So there's that second area just below us that if this current support level doesn't hold and we see one more drive lower, I will not be afraid of taking some longs slightly deeper. First target probably will be back into the same daily resistance, secure some partials. If we break through, happy days. There could be a lot of upside to take advantage of. So yeah, that's kind of my analysis going in for pound CAD. We're looking at some buys for this one. Anyway, we'll take a look at USDZAR, NZUSD. We'll take a look. Commodity shell looking at USD short 0.6340. Okay, we'll go for USDZAR first, and we'll take a look at NZUSD and Euro AUD after as well. Euro USD, we'll take a look at 2, no problemo. I'm long on pound AUD 1.86092, book 50% and stop a break even. Nice. Yeah, I'll go over what I'm looking at for pound USD too, but waiting for a little bit more development of that one. Morning, Mauricio, welcome to the stream. Hello, Euro USD, New York, Asia interchange yesterday formed bearish candle. The 1 minute, 5 minute, 50 minute and hourly is single candle. How did that happen? The 1 minute, 5 minute, 50 minute and hourly is single candle. How does that happen? I'm not sure if I understand your question. Are you talking about when the daily candle closes? Or are you talking about when the 1 minute, 5 minute, 50 minute and hourly all close at the same time? Yeah, Moses, I'm not too sure I understand your question, or I don't understand your question. Yeah, if maybe you could rephrase that a little bit, but or it might just be me, but the 1 minute, 5 minute, 50 minute hourly is a single candle. So yeah, are you talking about they all just close at the same time? New York, Asia interchange, so that's coming into the end of the day, the daily candle closure. Yeah, I don't understand your question. Candy, what's up? Gold, we'll take a look. US 30, yeah, I'll go take a look at US 30 as well. I'm into it under indices. Anus, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Letter from your parents. That's a good one, much. Pound CAD, Euro CAD, not in correlation. Pound CAD and Euro CAD are definitely in correlation too as well. They are very similar pairs. I'm long on Pound CAD and USD CAD. Nice, Jazz Pro. What's up, Jezreel? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Okay, still got a bunch of pairs to go through. So let me scroll back up to where I was. So yeah, USDZAR, NZUSD, Euro AUD coming up next. Okay, so USDZAR, last time I looked at that one, we were flying and we are still pretty bullish. So yeah, USDZAR just creeped and pushed through these highs. We're still looking for USDZAR to reach the all-time highs back over here on the left. So there's still a pretty high chance that that's where USDZAR is slowly working its way to. You know, if you look at the kind of the all-time structure of the pair, go to the monthly time frame, you know, that's all the market has done. You know, new all-time highs every single time. So, you know, unless something catastrophic happens, the market most likely will push back to the all-time highs and probably print some new highs as well. So, you know, this is our target for USDZAR from a high time frame perspective. And you can see that's where momentum is pushing us into successive high lows there as well on the weekly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there as well. So I'm just expecting price to go and hit this level sooner or later. It could be this week, could be in a month's time. Depends how the momentum sustains. But yeah, if USDZAR, you're just looking at pullbacks. This is looking like a fantastic level to long from. As you can see, humongous impulse through the level. You can get a correction onto that area. That'll be a very nice place to take the next trade from. You've got a low, higher low, higher low, higher low. That could be a lovely one there as well. If we whip at the old Fibonacci, probably come to the 0.618. So yeah, 18.5 looks like a really nice place to look to go long from and ride that bullish momentum to the upside. If you look at all the higher time frames, monthly, weekly, daily, all in sync to the upside. 4H showing a lot of bullish momentum here as well, snapping through the highs down left. So yeah, bullish momentum is looks like it's here to stay, at least to the highs there at 19.1. There's a chance we obviously may not come back to retest this level here. We may see a more of a shallow retracement and retest the high here on the left. So, you know, keep an eye on 18.7, 18.6, this area here, because we might just see a slight retracement because the market is extremely bullish right now. Might see a slight retracement and then follow through to the upside. So this could be also an area to look at, but this would be the kind of the perfect area to long from. Nice, deep, healthy retracement into a key level, into that 0.618 as well. You know, this would be a lovely area to long from, but, you know, as we may know already that the market doesn't always do what we want it to do. Sometimes the pullbacks are shallow, and we were looking for a deeper pullback, or sometimes the pullbacks were quite deep, and we were looking for a shallow retracement. So you have to stay aware of both possibilities. And then look for your entry confirmation because that's the most important bit. But yeah, USDZAR more upside back to 19.1, and we've got some really key levels there to long from. We'll take a look at NZUSD, looking to short at 0.6340. Okay, let's mark that on the chart. 6340. Okay, on the lower time frame here, let me drop to the hourly. Okay, is that lower time frame you're looking at or higher time frame? 0.634, so that's basically where we are right now, to 0.61. Okay, I don't think it is lower time frame. 0.61 is all the way down at the low here. Interesting stuff. That's a really nice swing opportunity. So possibly that it's a big call. I'm not gonna lie, it's a big call. Obviously, that whole swing back to the downside. It's not a bad place to short. It's not a bad place to short. Prices coming back into some significant resistance here. Obviously, with that humongous wick on the left, we're back in that same area. It's a little bit. I don't know what the word is. You know, it's quite confident. That's what I want to say. Like, you know, swing back down there. I'm not really seeing much excuse for it to happen necessarily. You know, the market didn't even come back and respect the lows. They actually made a slight higher low there as well. So we might see some downside because naturally coming to some resistance. You know, higher time frames are still particularly bearish. You know, on the weekly perspective, still successive lower highs here as well. So I'm actually still expecting us to return back to the support level here. But the current price action, you know, a similar kind of situation with AU as well. We might see some downside, but I'm not too sure how far it will go. Obviously, you know, trade your plan. If you plan that trade out, it fits your criteria and everything, you know, take the trade and do what you need to do. But obviously, I'm just giving you my honest opinion. It's a nice level of resistance. But yeah, I would recommend make sure you take your partials along the way because it's a hell of a move. And And yeah, it's a quite an aggressive push there to the downside as well, when the market's kind of starting to tire, not necessarily very, very bearish at the moment in time. We're not really seeing such strong impulsive phases anymore. We're seeing a lot of corrective moves to the downside, a lot of corrective moves to the downside. So the bearish momentum is a little bit drying up right now. We did see some life there to the downside not too long ago, but since then it's been very, very corrective, very, very corrective. So looking for a swing like that is going to require a lot of bearish momentum, which is currently not really in the markets. On the higher time frame, daily, weekly, yeah, it probably is. Still seeing some really nice, healthy moves, but right now, kind of in this weird kind of consolidation phase here on the daily. So a swing like that is a little bit tad aggressive in my opinion. But obviously, if you've got a plan, trade that plan. But yeah, it's not a bad place to short in terms of the location of the entry. Back of the highs here, can expect to see a move to the downside. I'm just not too sold on how far it will go. But yeah, you need to take partials to counteract against that. So obviously, not one trick pony. All the way move down to the low, you can still profit on the some of the move on the way down. If it does come up against you, it hits break even, still walk away for a small win. So happy days still. But yeah, not a bad place to short, but a swing to 0.61 is asking a lot. Okay, so Euro UD we'll take a look at next, and then we'll go through US 30. So yeah, US 30 we'll take a look at, and then we'll go to Pound AUD, Euro Swiss we'll take a look at, Olu, no problemo. Euro USD as well, go for some dollar pairs. Gold 2, no problemo. Bonnie, what is up? Hope you're having a good day. I'm doing good. Hope you are as well. Thank you so much, Martha, for subscribing. Really appreciate it. If you guys are joining the channel, by the way, please be sure to drop a subscribe, just like Martha there, setting a good example for her peers. And drop a like as well if you are finding the stream useful. Appreciate everyone who has liked the video and subscribed so far. Recently hit 8K. Really appreciate all the love you guys are showing. Okay, so what pair did I say I was going to take a look at? Was it Euro AUD? I believe so. Yeah, Euro AUD, US 30, Pound AUD. Okay, so Euro Aussie. So yeah, Euro Aussie broke to the downside with really aggressive momentum, clearing out some lows here to the left, some important lows as well. So for Euro AUD, I'm looking at correction to the upside, and I'm looking at another bearish leg to the downside. We're getting some nice lower highs here, which originally were counter trend, but now the market's breaking structure. It looks like we are shifting trend. Gone from a bullish structure here with successive higher lows. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're snapping it to the downside and now creating some bearish structures. So similar to my analysis I said yesterday, I'm looking at a pullback to the upside for Euro UD and a bigger swing back down again in sort of a head and shoulder type of style. As you can see here, lovely left shoulder, possible head, right shoulder, move to the downside. So I'm looking at pushing to 1.64 and shorts look pretty good up there. Now, will we get a pullback to 1.64? That's up to Euro UD. We might not do that. The market right now is kind of just consolidating at this area. It could possibly break to the downside again. It might push up. If it does, shorts look pretty good up at those prices. Then yeah, targets, you've got the price swing lows to aim for there as well. So a pretty neat price action. We're seeing some good momentum in the market. Looks like we're going through just a standard textbook reversal here, breaking through some structure to the downside, getting some nice healthy pullbacks in, and then looking at price rolling back over to 1.60460. And you've got another low to look at there on the left as well. So pretty simple stuff here for Euro UD, but nothing really to do right now. I'm not looking at buys at all for this one yet. And it looks like it's sellers that are starting to take control now. So yeah, pullback and then continuation low is what I'm looking for Euro AUD. And it's funny because Pound AUD I'm looking for longs, but Pound AUD right now is still respecting that daily resistance on the left. So until price starts to break back above this zone, then I'll start looking for longs. And this is what I was talking about earlier when I said, even though I'm bullish for Pound AUD, because again, unlike Euro AUD, we're still respecting structure here. So I'm still bullish on this pair, but the fact that we're respecting this daily resistance, that's not a good sign. this could give us quite easily a bearish leg to the downside there from that daily resistance. So I'm waiting for us to break above this area, start getting some rejection in to the downside, that is, and then I'll look for my buys back to 1.89 and possibly higher as well. But 1.89 looks like a decent level to target. So going forward, pound AUD buys look pretty good, but we need to break above 1.87. And Euro UD sells look pretty good, but we need to pull back to 1.64. And then, we'll be looking at some downside higher up at those prices for this one. So a little bit of out of sync for both of them. But again, I made a rule to myself that when I'm taking trades, I'm only going to be taking trades based on the price action on that particular market I'm trading. So if I'm looking to buy pound USD, but Euro USD looks a little bit bearish, I'm still going to buy pound USD. Because again, when I'm backtesting, I'm backtesting my trades. I'm not looking at correlation. I'm not looking at what other markets are doing. I'm not looking at fundamentals. I'm only looking at purely at the price action at play, and I'm taking trades based off that. And if my results backtesting are profitable, then all I need to do in the live markets is essentially just follow that plan to the best of my ability. Obviously, there's gonna be emotions and there's gonna be other things that factors at play, which is what makes live trading so difficult. But objectively, if I'm just doing exactly what I did back testing, then I should be getting the same outcome. So in terms of trying to piece together things, that's not really my style. Obviously, I know a lot of traders do like to incorporate correlation and currency strength and some fundamental plays and COT data and all that other stuff. If that's part of your strategy, that's what you tested, then obviously fair enough. You tested that as a part of your plan. But for me, it's never been a part of my plan, profitable without it. So I'm not really looking at that type of stuff. Maybe I would be more profitable if I don't take pound USD buys when Euro USD is looking bearish. Maybe I would, but I'm at a point where I'm not really looking at that kind of minute details right now. I'm just looking at scaling my strategy and scaling my ability to trade and the capital I'm trading with, rather than looking at small details like that. It doesn't really matter in the long run, really. But anyway, what did I say I was going to take a look at? Euro AUD, pound AUD, which I just did, and then there was a pair in between. Euro Swiss, was it? I've got such a poor memory with the pairs here. Euro Swiss we'll take a look at next. Euro USD we'll get onto as well now. NZC Chef we'll take a look at too. Gold, US 30, that was the pair I was supposed to look at, US 30. We'll go for US 32. All CHF pairs, interesting. You're probably the first person to ever request all CHF pairs. CHF pairs are probably the most unpopular pairs to trade, or unpopular pairs just general in the FX space. So I don't think anyone's ever requested to take a look at all the CHF pairs. I've had all the dollar pairs, all the pound pairs, euro pairs. Not too sure if have had all Aussie pairs or New Zealand pairs before, but Swiss pairs, that's the first. Swiss pairs have obviously been requested before, but no one said all Swiss pairs. So that's a nice little personal achievement there for you. Anyway, we'll take a look at US 30 first, then we'll go through Euro Swiss and Euro USD. So US 30 yesterday, I said for this one, some sales are looking pretty good. Again, similar kind of price action to S&P. Thank you so much for Real Talk Mafia for subscribing. Again, guys, if you're joining the stream, please be sure to drop a subscribe. We'd love to see it. But anyway, as you can see, similar price action to S&P. The market is breaking through some lows, creating some new lows. And we had all this bullish momentum, which just pricked the highs there, but came all the way back down and took out the lows here. So I'm looking at this big bullish move as a bit of a fake move here. And I'm looking at the market getting ready to tumble to the downside. And overall, I think we are rejecting a key weekly resistance, aren't we? If I'm not mistaken, yes, we are. And the market is rejecting a very key level here on US 30, coming to that level for a third time. So obviously you formed it at first, came to level again now as well. And it's still having a hard time breaking through. So I'm actually looking at some more downside here for US 30. In terms of entries, it would be nice if we can get one more stab higher, because we've had this lovely impulse to the upside, which is, I'm still looking at the retracement leg. We've had a pretty big impulse here, so I'm looking at this correction, one more push higher, maybe back into the resistance, might double top it, it might just spike through a little bit and then get the rollover to the downside into the lows here. So that's what I'm looking at for US 30. Let me just draw that a little bit neater for you guys. But yeah, in terms of bias and everything, it definitely is bearish. I'm kind of looking at an unorthodox head and shoulders, if you will, with the left there, the head, and then the right shoulder. So you can see it's not really a textbook one, but it kind of fits the bill, of the market slowly rolling over, seeing some lower highs, and obviously we are piercing through the structure each time. So if you can get one more spike higher, maybe CPI could push us higher, get some nice rejection in, and then you've got some really good shorts to look at there, back down to the low. So my analysis for US 30 and S&P is pretty much the same thing. In terms of price action, they both look very, very similar as well. If I go to S&P real quick, you can see it looks very, very similar. It's not as good as US 30, but again, piercing the lows, big bullish run that amounts to nothing. Price still respecting a big daily region here, as we can see on the left. Excuse me. Yeah, looking for a lower high for push down. US 30, similar thing there as well. Excuse me. Looking for a move down. There's only US 100, which is actually looking pretty bullish. So if you clear the highs there, buys look pretty favorable. And I'm not really interested in selling US 100 at all, just consolidation. So if it can break through the high, cool. Buys there. If it doesn't, we'll stay away. But US 30 and US 500 sells look pretty tasty. Anyway, we'll take a look at Euro USD, Euro Swiss, and move on to Euro USD, and oil as well. No problem, happy to help. Okay, we'll take a look at USD CAD 2, no problemo, pound yen, euro NZD 2, bunch of pairs. Okay, so it's also pairs I haven't looked at as well, which is weird. But okay, so we'll go over to Euro Swiss. So yeah, Euro Swiss, we'll talk about this one yesterday. I said I'm looking at some sells for this guy back down to this daily support area, but unfortunately didn't quite see the retracement I was after. Still potentially could. Price is right back down to support. We might see another drive higher and then the rollover. But essentially, I'm just looking at another lower high developing for Euro Swiss. If I look at the higher time frames and go to the daily real quick, you can see price is pretty consistent with these lower highs, 2, 3, 4, potentially a fifth one there as well. You've got a key support level here. I'm looking for us to at least go and test it, and we're very, very close to it. So I'm looking at us rolling over one more time into 0.972. You might get another big bounce to the upside again. That's not the correct tool. Might get another big bounce to the upside again, but I would imagine us to form another lower high and roll back over as well, and probably eventually break through the support level. If you look at the higher time frames, we have a comfortable bearish trend in our midst. So long term, we're probably making our way back down to the low here. So yeah, shorts looking very, very tasty for Euro Swiss, but at the moment they're not looking tasty at all. Price at support right now is quite corrective as well. Shorts up at the highs here is a safe place to put your stop loss and safe place to enter as well. Another push into this area, spike into that level could give us some nice shorts on the way back down. But this looks like the only decent place for me to short. The only decent place for me to short in terms of just safety and obviously in just terms of confluence as well. So yeah, Euro Swiss, Euro Swiss looks pretty good for some shorts. Still looking at pushing to 0.97162, but of course this is the only area I'm looking to short from. Chances are we probably won't even have that much of a pullback. We'll probably just roll over like this and sell off. So maybe in the lower time frames you can take a retest here. It's not really something I would look into, especially with Euro Swiss and how it's moving. Euro Swiss is definitely not one of the best pairs to trade in the lower time frames. Slightly bigger spreads, CHF pairs. If you're going to trade them actively, it's probably best to trade them on the hourly 4H higher time frames, because you're going to get some big spreads sometimes, especially when the daily candle closes, and just generally how they move is very, very kind of choppy price action. So if you're on the lower time frames, day trading, scalping, best thing to do is stick to the major pairs and maybe gold as well if you want some fireworks too. But yeah, Euro Swiss, this is what I'm looking at for a move back down into that support level. Euro USD, we'll take a look. So yeah, Euro USD is starting to bleed over. Again, we've been talking about Euro USD quite a lot. And in my weekly analysis, I've been talking about the fact that I've just not been looking to trade Euro USD in this area. Very, very choppy price action, and the market's kind of just doesn't know what it's doing itself. It's trying to break through the levels, trying to break to the downside. But if we can start seeing some break of structures, either low or higher, probably get some decent trades. And it looks like the market could be looking to break to the downside. We've already broken through a couple trend lines, which again is the first sign that we could be looking to roll over. But the most important thing we need to do is start clearing out some support levels and some major lows, which we haven't quite done yet. We've still got an important low here at 1.09400. So if you can break through that low, that is something that I'll be looking for in terms of, okay, failing to break through the daily resistance, we're breaking through some support now, seeing some new lows. Can we get a lower high in? If we can do that, I'm looking to short this one and looking for the reversal. If you start breaking through some highs, let me move this out of the way because we know it's there. We don't need to have it on our charts right now. If you can start breaking through some resistance here, start breaking through some highs, then cool. That will tell me that, okay, the buyers are really back in town. And yeah, some pullbacks after that will be looking fantastic to take it back to the upside and a retest of some structure. So that looks pretty neat to me on the buy side of things. Do I think price will do that? Probably not, unless the news does something crazy and really pushes dollar to the downside and Euro USD becomes very, very strong. Unless we do this impulsively, which again is going to need some big news to do that. I'm favoring the market to roll over bearish to the downside. So what I'm waiting for Euro USD is the break of this low here at 1.094, which could come today at some point, maybe the news later. And then I'm looking for the break of that and then a lower high formation to take the shorts to the downside. Because really what we've got for Euro is kind of consolidation. So I need price to start breaking through some lows, also seeing some good momentum as well. I don't want a corrective break, like some price action we're seeing here and some price action we saw there. If it's kind of corrective, I'm leaving it alone. If it's nice and impulsive, like something like this or something like this or something like this or something like this, now we're talking. If you can see some of that price action here, then yeah, pullbacks after that, lower highs, looking to short it, and then yeah, continuation lower. That would pique my interest for Euro USD shorts. But anything in this area between 1.107 and 1.095, anything in there, I'm not looking to touch. It's a grey area and just a no man's land for me. Okay, so hope that made sense for Euro. We'll take a look at dollar CAD. There's definitely some pairs we're supposed to look at before that. Yeah, oil. We'll go take a look at oil first. I'll go over NZD Chef and Flan. So NZD Chef, we'll take a look at. Oil, we'll take a look at. USD CAD, we'll take a look at. Gold as well, supposed to take a look at as well. USD Pound Yen will get through to. Amidu, what is up? Good morning, Roland. What is up? Welcome to the stream. Maybe check out about Euro USD if any your view about today's CPI. Yeah, I'm just going to see what happens. I don't really have necessarily a bias of what I'm looking for dollar to do. I'm not in any dollar pairs. I'm not really looking at much in terms of dollar, and quite frankly, the price action of the DXY is very, very choppy now. So it's kind of consolidation. So this is definitely one of those times where I'm very, very neutral and just waiting to see what happens, and more importantly, seeing what structure breaks or what structure holds, because that will paint the picture of what I want to do next with the dollar pairs or any particular dollar pair itself. So for Euro USD, if you can start to see price breaking structure here to the downside, start clearing out some lows, then yeah, pullbacks after that look very, very good. As long as we get a nice healthy breakout and a nice pull away from the zone, then yeah, pullbacks after that look pretty good, and I'm looking to short. So at that point, I'm looking for some dollar strength and some euro weakness. But as in pre the news, as in right now, I'm just waiting to see what price does. I'm not looking to trade anything until we start seeing some break of structures. So hopefully that answers your question. What is the difference between trading price action using support and resistance, trend line, and What's the difference between trading price action using support and resistance, trend line, and trading chart patterns? There's no difference between them. Support and resistance is a particular concept. Trend lines is a different concept. Chart patterns is a different concept itself. Price action is the umbrella term for all of them. So price action, it talks about the action of price. So it's the study of what price does. You can use support and resistance, market structure, trend lines, indicators, supply and demand, anything underneath the sun that is under that technical analysis bracket is considered price action. You're studying price. You can use indicators to interpret price action. You can use market structure, support, resistance. So there is no particular difference. If you're asking what support, resistance, trend lines is, and chart patterns, I do have videos on those topics. So if you go to my Forex education playlist, go and check them out. But yeah, in my trading, I use chart patterns, trend lines, and support resistance. So I use them together. Any position open? Yes, I do have a CAD Swiss short open at the moment. Currently short on this boy here, which I opened yesterday at 4 p.m. Currently just pinching into some drawdown now with that bullish move there. But overall, the market's still holding the key area of that daily resistance, the trend line as well. I'm still seeing some good rejection there on the higher time frame. So looking for us to see a move back down to this TP1 area here, which is that brief area of resistance on 0.66100, just above that slightly, and then the final TP is down here at those lows. So looking to see if you can get a rollover back into that support level there. Overall, very comfortable downtrend, but I'm not looking to push the trade too far because we're actually trading at some new lows there for CAD Swiss. So I don't want to overstay my welcome just in case we have an aggressive pullback of some sort. But yeah, CAD Swiss, the only trade open I have this week. But hopefully that can change if we get some more opportunities going. Anyway, what pairs I was going to say, let's take a look at. NZCHF, gold, we'll take a look at. No problem, scalped FX. Appreciate it. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Yeah, be safe with the CPI as well. Make sure you do be safe with CPI. And we've got some big news tomorrow, and we've got some, do you have news on Friday? Can't remember. We might have news on Friday. I'll check the fundamentals tomorrow anyway. But yeah, later today we do have CPI, and tomorrow we've got Bank of England interest rate, and also some more dollar news in the afternoon as well. So yeah, important times to be careful, guys, especially on the lower time frames. But we'll take a look at oil. So oil, SDCHF, and gold we'll get to. If I've missed out some pairs, which I said earlier, just let me know in the chat again. Anyway, so NZCHF. So yeah, I was looking to short this one coming into the week, but unfortunately the market is trading slightly above this trend line area. So I'm not looking to short NZCHF with this price action. Again, we've got a nice comfortable bearish trend here with the NZCHF. Really nice, healthy price action to the downside. With the equal highs up there, lower high, lower high, lower high. So I'm looking at another lower high forming for another push back down again. But yeah, the market's not quite ready to be shorted just yet with the current price action. We're kind of breaking above this support level. We've got some consolidation right now, not really cementing a direction. You see some momentum come from somewhere. And the fact is we're stabbing into that trend line as well to the downside as well. So that trend line was acting as resistance, is actually now acting as support a little bit. So in terms of actually shorting the pair, it's not quite ready yet, but things can change quite quickly. If you can get back underneath the trend line again, that would interest me for some sells. So we're still just about holding on to this daily support term resistance, as you can see here. If I draw it to the body there, you can see we're just about holding on to this area. But yeah, the trend line we are not. So losing a little bit of confidence there. So I want us to regain that before I look to do anything. And if it does come into fruition, then yeah, I'm looking at some shorts back down some of these areas. We've got lovely resistance here to target. We've got some support there. If you're feeling brave, you've got the lows all the way down there as well. But there's numerous targets we can aim for. So yeah, bearish on the NZCHF, but not quite the opportunity I'm looking at taking. So need to wait for a little bit more development before I get active with the pair. Okay, so now we're going to take over to oil. So oil still looking at some downside and then some upside. We've had a really crazy weekly candle closure here. Prices rejecting this big old level of support as support again. So you can see support previously, big fake out there to the downside. And now we're back again holding that same support area. So it looks like we could be seeing some upside for oil long term from a weekly standpoint. But looking at this from a 4H perspective, we still got comfortable bearish momentum and a comfortable bearish trend right now. So even though we had this very aggressive wick rejection, I'm looking at some short-term sells for oil. So coming back into this zone here looks a fantastic place to short from. As you can see, lower high, lower high. Let's see if we can get a third stab into this area and then get possibly some nice shorts back down into that 71 zone. Then maybe from there, we look to reverse higher and follow that weekly momentum to the upside. But yeah, right now, all I see for oil is lower high, really strong bearish momentum. I'm treating this as a pullback and we can probably see some downside. But we've got the 17.1 level. We've got to make sure we don't, make sure that we take into account. So yeah, for oil, looking at 74 shorts, see if we can get another stab to the upside into that area. And then yeah, upon some confirmation, this could be a really nice sell to take it back down to 71 and then possibly some longs later on. But that's currently what I'm looking at for oil. Not bad price action at all. We'll take a look at gold next. Yeah, we'll take a look at gold next. I'll go through pound yen, euro JPY as well, USD2. Okay, so gold. Yeah, gold's still looking at buys for this one, but all the way back down at 2K. I'm not really interested in the current price action for gold. We've had a pretty aggressive impulse last week. Now price is kind of steadily working its way to the upside, back to some key resistance. Again, if you look at the daily time frame, this was our prior resistance. The market tried to break through that last week on Thursday after the Fed, I think that was. Not too sure, can't remember. Or maybe some other news announcements last week. But we tried to break through, failed to do that. The market came back down, aggressively rejecting that area. So now approaching that same resistance. This is not really a good place to buy gold from. You want to make sure that you're buying gold low and obviously selling high. So naturally speaking, sales look okay there, but still kind of counter trend. And I'm definitely pro trend with gold. So I'm looking for buys down around 2K. If you can see another stab lower, maybe CPI can push us down. That'd be fantastic. And then I'll be looking to buy back up around 2K for the next bullish leg. And we might just start respecting the resistance and then potentially roll over. Like I said, gold is showing a lot of signs of exhaustion right now. This price action is a not healthy bullish trend. It's a weak bullish trend. Yes, we're still printing in higher lows, but this type of price action typically doesn't continue for very long, and eventually we do expect to see a big retracement unless something fundamentally happens and we see some crazy bullish momentum pushing us to the upside and creates a new kind of bullish trend here. Then yeah, we could go a lot further, but unless that happens and we kind of mess around within this structure, I'm expecting gold eventually to take a bit of a deep dive sooner or later. But first, looking for some short-term buys from 2K. So let's see if we can get a stab lower. Anything in this area, I'm not really interested at all at the moment for gold. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that one. We'll take a look at USD CAD, and then we'll move on to pound CAD as well. I'll take a look at USD and pound yen as well. What is your view on USD CAD, seeing as you are long on pound CAD? Yeah, USD CAD, I do see some upside, but I do think it'll be short term. We've had a heavy sell-off last week, so I'm expecting some slight retracement to the upside, which is where the bullish momentum comes in from USD CAD, but I do think it'll be short-lived and probably attack lower. But we'll take a look at USD CAD in a second. Miko, when you was learning, how many hours you were spending on the charts? Good question. How many hours was I spending on the charts? I don't know. It was fluctuating. I didn't really kind of learn in a systematic way. So it's not like, okay, I'm gonna wake up, do 3 hours on the charts, take a break in the evening, do maybe another couple hours. It was never really systematic. I kind of just went in the charts willingly, and until I got exhausted, and I would take a break. So I don't know, probably in university, I was probably spending on average maybe like 5-6 hours probably a day. And again, a lot of that wasn't very purposeful. Like I could have learned the exact same knowledge I did and probably got that 5-6 hours to about 3 hours. So I didn't really need to spend the extra 5-6 hours, but then you go around in circles quite a lot. And it was never really kind of, because I didn't really learn from a particular course or a particular mentor. It was kind of me going with the flow and experimenting. So I was going around in circles sometimes. So a lot of my learning could have been cut in half pretty much. Or, I mean, a lot of the time I spent learning could be cut in half pretty much. But yeah, so it's not necessarily how hard you work. Well, yeah, working hard is important, but not necessarily how much hours you can put in, because you know, it took me three years to start seeing some profit from Forex, but other people, it takes them 1 year. So, you know, I've done an extra 2 years, but they're starting seeing profit after one. So, it's more about efficiency and how you work and finding a strategy and really just knocking down with that particular strategy and making it known to you like the back of your hand. So that's really where your energy should be put. And yeah, work as hard as you want to. But yeah, I was putting in a lot of time in university, like 5-6 hours. Obviously, I wasn't really spending much time learning my course, which is why I eventually left. And then yeah, after university as well, probably spending maybe same around 5-6 hours as well. Sometimes it could be a lot more as well. Sometimes I'll stay up to like 2-3 a.m. On my computer, just like stressed out from trading early in the day and losing some money. Now probably just like after dinner, just spend like 5 hours after that learning. And again, a lot of that time was not used properly. I could have halved it if I was doing it more efficiently. But yeah, it's been a lot of work. Okay, so we'll take a look at what pair: USD CAD, Pound CAD, and USD CAD, Pound CAD, Pound Yen, USD as well. Okay, so I mean, I'll go over USD CAD since I was just talking about before. So yeah, USD CAD, I do see some upside for this one, but I do see it stalling and eventually rolling back over. We've had this crazy impulse to the downside, humongous bearish move here. So I do see a lot of correction to the upside into around 1.34627, and then possibly some sells around that area. We might not necessarily make it up to that area, might even make it through. I mean, this would be the perfect place to sell from, but I doubt we'll see a big pullback into that area. So again, I don't really look at correlation too much between pairs. Obviously, correlation is a thing. Pound CAD, Euro CAD, they do have correlation. It's not that I don't acknowledge it existing. Correlation is definitely a factor in FX markets. Across all markets, there'll be correlation. But I don't incorporate it in my trading strategy. So if I'm looking at Pound CAD and USD CAD, I'm looking at them objectively. Each to their own. If Pound CAD is looking bullish, I'm looking for buys. If USD CAD is looking bearish for some reason, I'm looking for sells. I'm not really trying to correlate the two. Some people do that, and that's perfectly fine. If you're one of those traders, do that as well. I'm just obviously speaking from my experience and how I trade. But yeah, USD CAD, I'm looking at some upside because again, this is a crucial level of support. The market's still printing some high lows in the daily 1, 2, 3, so we're still seeing a slight step to the upside. But with this momentum, that's the momentum not really to be messed with too much. So I do expect to see a push higher, and we're kind of seeing that now, but I don't expect it to last too long and see another move down to where we came from. Pound CAD, yeah, looking for a buy to the upside here, but like I said, I would like to see a nice little stab lower first through the level, and then if you can redeem that, give us a nice wick down the 4H, buys will look really good after that. So price action for me for Pound CAD is a little bit it's kind of just sitting on top of the level, not really doing too much, but if you can start firing some wicks to the downside, start getting some really good entry signals, then yeah, I do think we can see a nice bullish move. You can see in the higher time frames, real comfortable bullish trend here. So if you can start clearing 1.683, that's just a really nice place to go long from. Healthy trend, multiple time frame analysis, and I'm also considering that level just below us as well. at 1.675. There's a decent level just there, which I'll look to go long from as well. But yeah, pound CAD pretty bullish on. Still looking for a drive higher, but yeah, need some development on that support level. Okay, so we'll take a look at GJ USD next. So yeah, GJ USD we'll take a look at. Hello, Mr. Miko. What's up, Hussein? Can you please tell us about your opinion about the news today and how it may affect gold? Yeah, it could affect gold a lot, depending on what it does to dollar itself. If the numbers are quite different from the expected number, we could see a lot of dollar strength or a lot of dollar bullishness. Is that a word, bullishness? A lot of dollar strength? Yeah, dollar strength, I should say. So obviously, if dollar becomes strong, gold will come down. If dollar's weak, gold will go up. So your particular interest should be, wait to see what happens. Give it a good hour or so after the news has come out. The news comes out like 1:30 UK time. So whatever time that is where you are, wait a good 30 minutes, an hour at least, and wait for some candles to close, half an hour, 30-minute candle to close, or even better, hourly candle to close. Actually, 4H candle will close at 2. So yeah, a good 4H closure, candle closure will paint the picture, and then we can look to see what happens with gold. So gold's at a really just not really an interesting place for me. This is where I'm looking to buy. So if the news can push us down, then that would be fantastic. I'll be looking to buy back up. But yeah, gold will be affected. Gold's a dollar pair. This news is going to affect dollar, and most pairs will probably see some type of reaction, to be fair. But yeah, I'm not really looking to predict what's going to happen with the news. It's not really worth my time. I'm just waiting to see what happens after, and then we can plan some things to do with the news. Okay, so we'll move on to USD, and then we'll take a look at pound yen. Okay, so Euro NZD. So Euro NZD still very, very bearish. A hell of a move to the downside after taking out some key highs. Again, we did move into a very, key level resistance for this one. Similar situation to Euro AUD as well in the higher time frame. As you can see, heavy rejection of this resistance here. Big old wick to the upside, a big old wick there. And this was COVID. Yeah, this was COVID. Big old wick to the upside. Now the market is back into that same resistance at 1.78. So again, another healthy rejection there to the downside, but we do have some lower time frames of support. So even though we're having some really big rejection at these areas, I do think eventually Euro NZD is going to start to find its feet pretty soon, down at some of these areas, start giving us some structure, some breaks of structure as well, some higher highs, higher lows. I could probably take it back into the same zone eventually, but right now I'm not really looking to do too much with Euro NZD. We've had a really big rejection of that higher time frame resistance. We've got some really good higher time frame support just below us. We've broken through a lot of bullish structure. So currently the market's quite bearish. So if anything, there could be some short-term sells into that zone there. We've got some nice consolidation there. Could see a spike higher, push higher into that zone. Next lower high, get the sell-off, take out some of these weaker lows on the lower time frames. We got some nice structure here. Got the high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we could see a pop to the upside, get the lower high, another drive to the downside into the daily zone, and then maybe you get the reversal we're looking for on the higher time frames. But yeah, for Euro NZD, the structure is quite bearish right now. We've definitely broken out that bullish structure there. So and we're still seeing a lot of bearish momentum as well. Right now, the market is a little bit choppy, consolidating, taking a bit of a breather. So a pullback is likely, but a pullback into that consolidation looks pretty good. 1.75 I've got it at. So yeah, if we can see the market retest that area, probably get our next lower high. We've got a lovely one over there. A second one over there. Probably get a third one coming into this area. And looking at a continuation either back to the low where it came from, or maybe you can push it down to that daily zone if you want to maximize the risk reward a little bit further. But nonetheless, USD to me is displaying a lot of bearish momentum, and I think we'll probably pinch a little bit lower into that daily zone, and then we can start looking for some buys later on. But for now, sales are still your best bet into that zone. Okay, we'll move on to pound yen next. Okay, so pound yen. Okay, pound yen starting to reject the resistance a little bit there. Hasn't really done too much. Hasn't really done too much there for pound yen. Yeah, it's starting to reject the resistance. Have we crept into the daily zone? Maybe just about by a wick or two. Actually missed it by a pip or two. Actually, no, a wick or two. I'm in a pip or two. Okay, so yeah, pound yen. I'm still pretty bullish on this one. I'm still pretty bullish. I'm not looking to buy at those prices, of course. I'm looking to see if price can come a lot further down. I'm looking at buying at this particular area here as well. If you can see another push lower, push into this area, give me a nice little bull flag there. Humongous impulse up, correction 1, correction 2, and then looking for the continuation higher. So yeah, pound yen's at a place where, sellers are looking to step into the market. It's close to daily resistance. We just had a big push higher, could be forming a lower high. That's all definitely a possibility. Is it worth a trade? For me, definitely no. I'm looking at some buys down here. 167.5 is my area of interest. And then, yeah, I will be looking to see if I can take pound yen higher. Still pretty bullish on most yen pairs: euro yen, pound yen, CAD yen, Swiss yen, and JPY. AJPY's got a little bit of work to do, but my buys can be bullish on that one pretty quickly if things change. Use JPY again, looking for buys, but I need a little bit more momentum there. So yeah, across all yen pairs, I'm pretty bullish. So yeah, 160, 168, if you can get a push into that area, I'm looking for buys. I'm not looking to touch pound yen up at these prices. There's some people probably looking to sell here, and fair enough, it's a nice resistance to do that, but that's a bit of counter trend play. I'm trying to go with the flow of things rather than against it. Not that you can't make money going against it, but your success rate is just going to be naturally higher going with it. So that's just where I want to take most of my trades. Sometimes I'll be wrong. Sometimes the structure will break and we change direction. It doesn't matter. We can just look to follow it on the next retracement. But yeah, pound yen 168 is my area of interest. Still looking for more upside there. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. No problem, Godfrey. We'll take a look at, whenever we use the cab, I'll take a look at gold. Briefly go over that again. I want to ask this question. I see you do all your analysis from 4H or one day. So my question is, when entering or carry out the trade, do you go to 5 minutes to enter or stick to the 4H, 4 hours? Yeah, most of my analysis is on the 4H time frame. I do use the daily and the weekly a lot as providing some extra confluence and seeing the overall scope of the market, overall forecast of the market. But when I take my entries, I do drop to hourly time frame. So I do drop one time frame lower, but I don't drop lower than the hourly. It's a little bit too low, anything below that. Not that it's too low that you can't profit from it, but it's just for me in the style that I'm trading with, and how I want to invest my time in the market and the time I want to be on the charts as well. Hourly is a good balance. It's slightly lower than the 4H, where I can still maximize my risk reward a little bit, still within touching distance of the 4H, so the candles are still meaningful. Any lower than that, the candles get less meaningful, so you have to incorporate more lower time frame structure into the trade. Whereas you can see when I analyze the market, I just look purely at the 4H for the structure. For example, for this structure here, I'm looking to buy here. If I was going to buy here on the 5 minute, I'll need to drop to like the 15 and start looking at structure there and waiting for a buy setup on the 15 as well. Then scale down to the 5 minutes. So it's a lot of effort if you're going to go all the way down to those charts, but rightly so, because you can maximize your risk reward tenfold with those time frames. But that's not really what I'm looking to do with my trading at the moment. So yeah, hourly is where I take my trades for entries. NFP Friday. We already had an NFP not yesterday, last week, Anthony. We already had an NFP last week. Next NFP will be next month. Hola amigo. What's up, Ariel? Hope you're doing good. Mi español, es muy mal. Yeah, that's about it for my Spanish. How's my pronunciation though? Would you short NZD-CAD? I'm actually looking to buy NZD-CAD if that can be traced a little bit lower. I'll go over NZD-CAD though. I'll go over a few more pairs because the stream is about to end soon. So I'll go over NZD-CAD. We'll take a look at gold. I'll go over USD CHF. Gold sell 2036. Okay, we'll take a look. USD CHF, no problem. Godfrey, happy to help. Okay, so I'll go over gold first, and I'll take a look at NZD-CAD. So yeah, gold, like I said a bunch of times here, I'm looking to long at 2K. Not interested in price action in this area, not interested at all. Again, we've got CPI in about an hour and a half. So if you're looking to buy or sell gold right now, you're going to have to look to balance the news as well. Because, I doubt price will hit your TP in an hour and a half's time. So you most likely will be looking to sit through the news. So you're going to have to factor that in if you're looking to enter any trades now. I'm looking to enter back down here. So I'm hoping the news can push us down. If the news does push us up and we start breaking for the highs, I'm leaving gold alone. Maybe there could be some nice buys in the retest of that zone if we break impulsively. It was kind of like a half-hearted break and we start firing some wicks. I'll leave gold alone. We might be looking to tumble over. But yeah, 2K from gold. I'm looking to get involved. You're looking to sell at 2036. 2036. Yeah, it's not a bad place. We've had this humongous impulse to the downside. This could be the correction for another wave down. You're looking to sell back into the consolidation there. So it's not a bad place. It's just, the higher time frames are still particularly quite bullish. So, selling there, a little bit counter trend in my play, in my book. So, yeah, I'll never be over the moon about counter trend plays. Some are really good when they get some good confluence going, but particularly in this time frame where you've got a multitude of time frames which are very, very bullish. So, yeah, it could be an idea, but I'm sticking with the buys down there. Of course, if it's in your plan, do what you need to do, take your trade. We'll move on to NZD-CAD and dollar Swiss. So yeah, NZD-CAD, you said, am I looking to sell? No, I'm looking to buy for this one. I'm looking at that big high time frame daily bull flag or possible bull flag. We haven't really broke out structure just yet. But as you can see, you have this humongous impulse. I'm looking at correction and I'm looking at continuation back to the resistance and maybe higher as well. So I'm looking at buys for this one, but at the moment, it's in that seller's area. So it's not a bad place to sell. Obviously, I'll whip out the old trend line. You can see prices still producing these lower highs. So it's not a bad place to sell up at these areas, but I'm expecting that bull pattern to start playing out on the daily. So my analysis coming into the week was looking for a retest of this area, then the continuation. So this is what I'm looking at. I was looking at some buys originally last week down here. Missed them. I was looking at pushing to the support here. It didn't quite do that. Then it took off without me. So I'm hoping maybe this week we can see a stab lower, then get the buys, back into resistance, take the profit at the high there, or at least most of it. Then if we do break out, I might leave 10% to run to see what we can do with that, because I'm not really trying to take advantage of the whole bull flag pattern all the way to the highs there. It's not really my trading style. I will leave some to trickle. But I'll be taking most of my profit at the resistance there. I prefer to take my profit earlier rather than later. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for NZD-CAD. Naturally, it's not a bad place to sell. So of course, if that's what you're looking for, do what you need to do. But I'm pretty bullish on NZD-CAD. And finally, we'll end it with dollar Swiss. So USD CHF, this one's a little bit choppy now. We're getting kind of consolidation in this area here as well. And rightly so. I believe we are testing a pretty substantial weekly zone. So if I whip this across, yeah, we are we just stabbed into it there a little bit there. So yeah, the market is just stabbed into an important weekly area. So starting to see some higher time frame buyers come in the market, starting to consolidate here. So what I'm looking for dollar Swiss is just a breakout essentially. To the downside, not really, because if we break to the downside, then we were immediately met with that higher time frame level. So I'm not really looking to sell down at these lows unless we really break through. Then I'll consider it. I'm actually looking to see if we can pop to the upside and get a nice little reversal into the upside. break above the high there, that'll be something I'll be interested in, and take some short-term buys up higher. So yeah, break above 0.9, I'm interested. Anything in this area though is a no trade zone for me. This is consolidation. I'm not looking to trade consolidation. My strategy performs a lot better in trending conditions rather than these conditions, so I stay away. So yeah, guys, that brings us to the end of the stream. I hope you guys have found it useful, entertaining, informative, helpful, all the good stuff. If you have done, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. I really do appreciate all the kind messages, the likes, the subscribes, the comments that you guys do leave, and interacting in the live chat and the live chat as well. Really do appreciate it. We'll be live again tomorrow as well, so make sure you don't miss out on that. Same time as usual, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. And watch out, we do have some news in about an hour and 30 minutes time. So if you're on any trades, make sure you're managing your risk and not overexposing yourself there in the markets. That's very, very important. You want to make sure you're keeping yourself sustainable and you're in it to fight another day rather than just risking it all and not seeing the next fight. So yeah, guys, have a fantastic day. Thank you so much to my moderators for moderating the stream. Really do appreciate it. Moch, Anus, Sanjay, much appreciated. No problem, guys. Thank you so much for coming to the stream. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.
What?